You're a very intelligent on your questions. I mean, what happens if you wear Russian underpants? Chernobyl fallout. Why do shepherds up in the Highlands wear kilts? So the sheep won't hear the zip coming down. If a light sleeper sleeps with a light on, what does a hard sleeper sleep with? You know the difference between hard up and down and out? Half a minute. I'll ask you another one. Why a weather vane? If I put a fanny on it, the wind would blow through and it wouldn't stink. That's why you do it. What do you call a jobby with one eye? Geek. You know. You're a very intelligent crowd, I can tell you. Take my tip in life. See when you're out for a night out, get pissed, that's what I say. Meet the police with confidence on your way home. You're drinking and driving, hit an Arab. Don't hit one of us. Oh, if you are drinking and driving tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're probably staying here, but if you are, get Radio West sound on as loud as you can get it in the car radio. See if you hit anything, you'll never hear it for that rubbish they're playing on. I must have a word with that Tommy Truesdale, I don't know what's happened. Oh, nice man, baby. Do you know what's got one tooth and 48 heads? The frontly divine con. I'm full of useless information. If you want to know something useless, ask me. The old man says the other night, come on, I'll buy you a pint. I says, that's great, Dad, I'll smash. And we're waiting for the bus. He said, oh, here's the bus, son. Can you get the 2 returns? I'll get them coming back, he said. So I'm paying the driver. I said, 2 to the city centre. He said, the bus no go to the city centre. I said, you have city centre on the front of it, Sabu. He said, India, on the tires, no go home. He said, then Big Murphy, he walks into the pub with a greyhound and says, Jesus, what the hell are you going to do with a greyhound, Paddy? He said, I'm going to race it, so you'll beat it. Took it to Shawfield, the hair bit in the back leg, it never run a race yet, crippled. I said, give us a dog. I said, I'll train the dog. I'm teaching the dog to beg. It was watching me in the bedroom. See? Then it rolls over and pretends it's dead. Don't want to go on about that house with enough trouble in Benidorm. Oh, took her mother. You always take something you don't need. She was an embarrassment. The first morning she had the continental breakfast, ate the quilt. Should have seen them all with her. And she spots this wee restaurant. She says, look at that, that's beautiful. The Hacienda it was called. So we're in for a meal, she says. She's got the phrase book. Senor, por favor. He said, Senorita, can I help you? She said, what is the chef's special? He said, tonight it is El Toro Dico. She said, it's not in the phrase book, no comprende. She says, you know the matador go in the bull ring and he take out the sword, the bull and the bulls dingle dangle. In Spain we say El Toro Dico. She said, I'll have that with chips. What a plateful, it was that size. What a cut. She's in every night. I'll have the same again, por favor. God, she loved that. Oh, that was her favourite. And the last night we're going home, she says, oh, I'm no the same again. It's a marvellous. Senor, the same again, por favor. And he comes out with a plate, and it's a wee thing about that length. She said, it's not very big tonight. He said, Senorita, sometime the bull wins. One fella, he went down to London. You know that programme that's on the Antique Roadshow, and he walks in, he says, our antiques. Man said, certainly, sir, they are rather pricey. He said, I've just been made redundant, I've got the money. He said, have you lost your job? I'm awful sorry. Nah, I said, well, 22.5 years, he said, I was at the Crossing Blackwell. He said, you know them? I said, I was a broom taster of a Crossing Blackwell. 22.5 years. 2 days on, the week off. 22.5 years. He says, well, I'll tell you what we have got. We've got Liberace's piano. He said, it's £25,000. And he said, no, I said, I don't play piano. He said, would you be interested in a book on fly fishing by J.R. Hartley? He said, I don't fish. He said, would you be interested in a talking table? He said, I've never even heard of a talking table. He says, well, it's early Victorian, sir. It's made out of rosewood, as you can see, beautiful rosewood, and lacquered and veneered and polished. It's got the cherubs on each corner. The Victorians always had down into the sled lion's feet with the brass handles. It's a beautiful table, and if you ask it a question, it will tap out the answer with one leg. The guy says, good God, what a table. How much have I got in my pocket? On the table. He said, I've a fiver in here. I'll buy the table. And he took it home. It's sitting in the living room. He says, how much has the wife got in her purse? And the table, one leg again. He said, 30 quid, where the hell did she get 30 quid? Well, the legs went like that and the drawers fell onto the... 30 queen, said Cinderella, you must be home from the ball by midnight, otherwise your fanny will turn into a pumpkin. Well, she's dancing at the ball with the handsome prince. He said, I am Prince Peter, the pumpkin eater. What time must you be home from the ball, Cinderella? She said, oh, 6 or 7 in the morning, stand next to me. I phoned up the health centre. Have you ever tried to get an appointment with your health centre? Oh, see them women, I think they all tell each other the answers, you know. You're on the rota, she says. What do you think, the rota? The rota, aye. She says, we can give you an appointment 3 weeks next Thursday. I said, I might be dead by then. She said, will you get someone to phone in and cancel the appointment for you? And you never get taken out your turn. You're sitting there for 2.5 hours, not in consulting room for 2.5 hours waiting my turn. And a woman walked in. Well, she collapsed at my feet, just collapsed. I jumped at her up because she'd have stuck her head between her legs. Well, you should have heard her screaming. She was smoking a fag. I never seen a fag. What a good club to do. I've been in some dumps this last week, I'm telling you. They sent me down to that. I don't know if there's anyone in from Les Mexico. They sent me to Les Mexico the other week. Oh. I told one committee joke and they've barred me. A bloody harmless joke about the committee too. Oh. I'll tell you what I said. You can make up your own mind. How do you get 18 committee men into a mini? Get the treasurer in first, the rest crawl up his arse, you see. What I'm going to do now is some impressions for you. Do some of the big stars that you see in the telly, and I'm going to bring them here live to the stage tonight for you. I hope you like my choice. If I miss any, don't be frightened to shout out 1 or 2 names. I'll do them all anyway. And start off with a number written by the King of Swinging Pests. I hope you like this song. I'll do Harry Lauder as well. This is a number called Touch Me in the Morning by Wilma Fingerdew. I hope you like this song. Oh, see my chest. I was telling you about London. You bump into some people. I'm just coming round on their Piccadilly Circus. Who's coming out of Oxfam in front of me? Maggie Thatcher. She said, Clem. And I had the camera around my neck, you know, and she spotted me. She said, focus. I says, well, I'm in a bit of a hurry to catch the train up to Scotland. I said, she said, by the way, Mark's become a daddy. I said, oh, bloody could point something in the right direction. Ah, bloody Egypt that was. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like this first one to start off with. It's a present from Morris Johnson. He said it's the French national colours. I've never been in France, you know, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. So let's go then. Here we go. One or two of your big stars. Starting off with Ringo Starr. Thomas, the time to track. Poof, poof, said Thomas. I've got a tender behind. Oh, kinky program to put on for the weigh-ins. Do you watch that, Neighbours? Oh, I don't like that Mrs. Mangle. I'd smack her in the face with a packet of wax shit, so I would. I don't like that, Mr. I don't like that. Well, that's what it sounds like anyway. Don't ask me to translate it. Here we go with the sing-song. Let's hear you all joining in. Oh, ho, ho. Up in the attic I heard a poof scream. Who put the sand in the Vaseline? Written Alan Ruff. Yippee-i-oh, yippee-i. I wanna be a cowpoke and go poking cows all day. Jack be nimble and Jack be quick, and Jack jumped over the candlestick. Silly bugger, should have jumped higher, great balls of fire. Yippee-i-oh, yippee-i. I wanna be a cowpoke and go poking cows all day. That's the chorus. I took a shortcut home one night along the river banks. I tramped on this sweet fella's back and a woman's voice said thanks. Yippee-i-oh, yippee-i. I wanna be a cowpoke and go poking cows all day. Valencia, stick your head between your knees and whistle up your Barcelona. Harry Lodger, okay. Meets the laddie coming through the rise, you better have boots and knickers on, the thistles are rough behind. I do all the hits. We'll do the rock and roll one, Chuck Berry. Here we go. My girlie go walking every night. She used to wear suspenders, now she's wearing tights. She's wearing tights and I can tell when she farts her ankles swell. You're a bit orange walkie on the drums, sir. There's a couple walked out there in the middle of that. I've never seen an orange walk. I've seen them rolling along when they fell off the shelf and that, but I've never seen them walking. Well, I tell them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke, honestly. It's a true story. John Mahari here will vouch this out. We were up, was it Lochgelly Bowling Club. No offence from I'm just telling you what happened. And the committee were having a meet. It was their 100th year now. If you're from Lochgelly, you'll know Lochgelly about 100th years they formed the wee social club. And they called the agent in this night and says, look, we want somebody really special because we've a full house fixed up, 150 people, we've had raffles and bingo, and says, we want a good turn. And the guy come in the following week, he says, you know who I've got you? He says, go on, tell us. He said, James Last and his orchestra. And the guy said, you know the way, go on, piss off. No, he says, James Last and his orchestra. He had a free night, so I fixed him up, Lochgelly Bowling Club. I said, that's fantastic. And he arrived with all the big vans and all the musicians, James Last and his orchestra. The guy says, well, I'll tell you what we want, James. We're going to start off with a flyer. And then a couple of tunes. A line and a full house. And maybe another couple of tunes from yourself. Then it's a snowball. And we'll get a few guest singers up. And maybe if you'll finish off with a bit of dancing. James Last says, that's fine, that suits me all right, we're here for the night anyway, quite happy to work whatever way you want. The president says, that's smashing, Mr. Last. By the way, will you be using our organ and drums? Thanks anyway for your laughter applause. Very kind of you. It makes it all worthwhile, believe me. If you're a punter, if you like a wee bet, Hamilton races are on again tomorrow. 2:30 Hamilton, plum. Now it's only carrying 1 stone. Well, Hamilton's a left-handed course, you see. And if it hangs on in there, it'll make it. As long as it gets the inside line. Okay then. We're going to do Mr. Al Jolson, the one and only Al Jolson. You'll like this. I put your left leg over my shoulder, put your right leg over my shoulder. They didn't fancy that much in Les Mexico either, I'll tell you. Thanks very much, it's been a lovely audience, and thanks for your laughter, because when you laugh, I'm filled with emotion.
Thank you. Yeah. Please welcome once again the fabulous Clem Dane. Fantastic.